My name is Elana, and I've been sewing since I was fairly young. In fact, I remember one year asking for a sewing machine as a Christmas gift. But I think I first got interested in sewing when I watched my mom sew. And she made a lot of our clothes. There were 8 of us children, and she made a lot of our clothes when we were younger. I remember sewing a skirt maybe when I was the summer before my 8th grade year and wearing it very proudly to school for the first day of school. And I also learned how to do like embroidery from her as well. Do I consider myself a seamstress? In no way. People say you're an artist. I say, no, I'm not an artist. I'm an artisan. An artisan is somebody who works with their hands and creates lovely things, but I am by no means an artist. I've never had an art class. I've never had a sewing class. In college, I roomed with a girl who was taking home ec, and fortunately, she was still my roommate when I got married, and she helped me make my own wedding dress. So I think that was a coup to be able to do that. After that, I went to the Peace Corps to Afghanistan, and the women there did not work outside the homes, but inside the homes they made absolutely beautiful handiwork, and I even purchased a lot of that before I left Afghanistan. Still have some of it. That made me interested in the handicrafts of other cultures. And when I got home, I started having children, and I made a lot of their clothes as well. Then when I didn't need to do that anymore, I started doing handicraft kinds of things, which I'll be happy to show you my progress from some of my first things to what I'm doing today. Wall hangings are my favorite at this point in my life. I used to do quilts, but unless you have a quilting machine, it's a challenge to do a quilt on a regular machine. The favorite piece I've ever done, that's hard because I've done hundreds of wall hangings. It was probably a piece based on a stained glass that my sister-in-law made, and I liked this piece so much that I did a wall hanging of it. And when somebody said they'd really like a piece of I gave them a choice and they chose that one. So I think I'm going to have to make another one based on that one because I really did like that one. Is there one piece that I have in mind that I would like to do yet? Not just one piece. I have so many ideas. I got them in photo albums. I have them in file folders. Just so many things I'd like to try. So here in our condo, I have decades worth of my sewing and my experiences, and I like just looking around and having memories of some of these experiences. This one was from Saudi Arabia when we lived there, and these are some of the scenes that we would find in the university compound we were living in. And I had this hanging on the wall for several years and finally found a place for it here. This one I got the inspiration for when I was doing some substitute teaching at a school, and we went into the church, and this was one panel of stained glass. And a lot of times I like to make my work look like it's stained glass, and I love doing flowers. I've done several of these, so that's where the inspiration for this one came from. We were at a wedding in downtown Columbus a couple years ago, and we were on the 4th or 5th floor and looking out over the Scioto River and the skyline of Columbus. And when I came home, I thought, I'm going to make a wall hanging of that. I don't really know if there are different styles of sewing, but there are different purposes for sewing. I mean, you can sew clothes. Somebody who wants to be a dress designer certainly has to know how to sew. But as far as the handicraft things that I like to do, I think some people get really good and they do things for museums or state fairs. They want to win a ribbon, and I look at their stuff, and as I tell my husband, I drool because I wish I were that good. I don't think I'm anywhere near that at this point, nor being 76, do I think that I will have enough time to get that good. But if you look in a museum, you can definitely see different styles of handicraft sewing. What I like about sewing is it's creative. As a teacher, I taught children who didn't speak English as their first language, and I always tried to be creative when I was getting them to learn a new concept. And sometimes we'd write books, sometimes we'd do plays. So when I quit teaching, I kind of lost that area of creativity. So when I come down here to my sewing room, this is my happy place. So what do I consider myself? I consider myself an artisan.